Hey, we're live.
We are. No one's watching yet. I probably should have done this video thing. Actually, it's not true. Dave's here watching, so
Dastardly Dave.
Sir David is here. Yeah.
What's happening, Dave?
So I probably should have ran over and made this video
Good thing.
announcement that we were going to do this today. But I'm shipping a bunch of guitars, so I'm trying to get that done. And then as soon as I started that, without fail, our big delivery of the new benches, the new student benches came.
Hotness.
Yeah, so
those are pretty slick.
they're going to be really neat. We've got 4 of them. They only had 4 in stock, which is good because we don't have a full workshop next week, but everybody in the June workshop gets to use the new benches and the new they're just basically like just giant rolling toolboxes.
Yeah.
So everybody will have.
But that's kind of cool. I
everything
saw
in.
that they got the power strips and stuff on the side, so you get a little bit more convenient.
They're
Contained.
built in.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah. And let's see. So yeah, and then all the tools will go in there instead of being on top. So it's a smaller footprint than what we had for each guy when we started with the tables. Hey Joy, hey Jeffrey, hey Jimmy, hey Dave.
Hey, everybody's joining in.
But yeah, so it's a smaller footprint. It's half the size that they had before. However, when you start to look at what junk just started out on top of what they had before, it's actually about the same size.
So like the actual working space.
Yeah, the working area. And in fact, the working area is greater because it's not, you don't share with another guy who's opposite of you. And so your neck can't, if your neck goes over onto their space or vice versa, now every toolbox or every new area is, every individual has their own thing, so the neck can hang over this way, it can hang over this way, and all the tools are inside. So I think it's just going to be better, and it looks classy in their metal toolboxes.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be organized, and then I think you guys got it set up so like the bigger tools, like you got in the the room, like the press and all that stuff, instead of they can kind of rotate through and have their own space. That's kind of I think it's kind of slick.
I have
pro level.
Well, that's kind of what we're doing. So I'm going to, and I'm spilling the beans a little bit, but I don't know how many people are watching this, but we're gonna increase the number of workshops that we have in 2025. We might even add some at the tail end of this year. Don't quote me because I don't know, but I think we're going to up our game with workshops. I know we're going to have some stuff we've never done before, and some different kinds of things that we up to this point have never done. So,
what kind of stuff? If you don't want to,
no, okay. So I alluded to this before. It occurred to me that the only thing that we're missing is like an in-depth guitar building actual class. So you look at like what Roberto Venn does, or insert name of guitar building school here. What they do is a whole semester of guitar stuff. That's what we don't have, and we're going to start doing that. We're going to actually
basically
be doing
from sticks to a playable instrument.
Yeah, but I want to, like, so for the sake of conversation, the neck portion, I want to have it be where what I would recommend you do if you've never built a guitar before. So the first thing that they'll do is they'll probably start with a not real neck, but a real fretboard on a real piece of maple. It doesn't have to have a headstock. It doesn't even have to have a truss rod, though it probably should. And what they'll do first is they'll fret that neck. And then what they'll do next is they'll pull all those frets out and refret that neck. That's the kind of the thing where it's like, so like if you look at Roberto Venn, and I'm not trying to put Roberto Venn, I love the guys at RV, but like their fretting portion, they're like, well, we'll discuss refretting, but we won't really do it. I'm like, well, let's do that. So it's
that extra.
Yeah. So it's going to be 5 blocks: necks, bodies, finish, electronics, and setup. So I haven't decided. The reason that we haven't gone fully public with this yet is we haven't decided what the curriculum is for each one of those 5 blocks and how many days each one of those 5 blocks is going to be. But at the end of it, you'll probably have 2 or 3 guitars that you actually made. One of them will be a Tele, and one will be whatever you design.
So what kind of time frame are you looking for? Are these going to be like a month-long class, or is it
no, because
or is it going to be jammed into?
No, it's
I don't
gonna
mean jam, but you know what I'm saying.
so I think each block will be 6 days,
Okay.
but you won't be able to take 30 days or 60 days or whatever it is. So each block will be two components. Both components will be 6 days, 5 of them. That'd be 30 days. I don't want to have 30 days of workshop because, frankly, most of the people that watch us don't. They're not going to take off a whole semester to come out. So I want to be able to do it. Yeah, I want to be able to have them come out and do it in blocks. So.
Yeah.
I haven't figured everything out yet, but that's me just giving you guys a little bit of a bean spiller here. So
that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So Millhouse Studios, thank you very much for hanging out with us, sir. Jimmy Devine says, "Wish we were closer to the Jersey Shore." Well, that we're not the only guys doing this. We're just the best guys doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thanks for hanging out with us, you guys, and taking time out of your busy schedule. And you're probably supposed to be working, but if you live in the United States, it is likely that you had a 3-day weekend.
Most likely.
And you probably weren't ready to go back to work today.
And they're probably overworked.
Probably kind of goofing around right now.
Probably, it's like most Americans are overworked.
Yeah.
Don't get enough time off. You got to put in fucking 30 days to get PTO and all that bullshit. Sorry, extra swearing. But yeah, so F off for a half hour and see some cool stuff.
Yeah. So I stopped by on Friday to do a couple of things. One of which was to pick up his brand new American Icon. And so you had all weekend to play it. You know what I did all weekend? I went out and bought this camera. This is the new fancy dancy camera. This is the new vlogging camera.
What'd you end up with?
This is the Sony vlogging whatever. I got a microphone for it, but yeah. So that's what it took a long. That's not all I
think I've seen that one.
Yeah, but it's pretty good. So. Trevor says Tuesday live bonus. Trevor, I think it's occurring to me that I need to do more videos. Now they're not going to all be super in-depth videos, but they're not all going to be live videos. And by the way, all of our live videos are never any ads on our live videos. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're not doing that. It just got to the point where people were like, "Oh, there's so many of these dumb ads."
I can't stand it now. Everything you watch, even if it's something short, has an advertisement for something.
A jive.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, for us, I don't know about you, but for me, having the store, there's a lot of music gear. So it's constantly like the giant music gear company. Hey, blah, 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 hey, Gary's gonna call you. Call your blah 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 representative.
And this whole video is basically an ad for this guitar,
right? Which is fine. But the thing is like, I don't know. It's the big corporate stuff, and then it's just a lot of music gear and some of that stuff we already have. And I'm like, I don't want to. It's like, can't you show me some shit about like an RV? Or
something that you're also interested in.
Yeah, or something other than just always the music gear stuff.
So anyway, you picked up your guitar on Friday, and I saw some shorts on the Flipside Music page. If you guys aren't subscribed to that, you should be. What do you think of your American Icon? I don't know if people can hear. The microphone picks some stuff up and doesn't pick.
You can probably get a little bit of that, right?
You'd think so, but well, let me know what you guys are able to hear. But these are pretty loud for what they are. So what do you think, man?
So I really enjoyed it. I mean, I've kind of had.
You were a believer after the first time you played.
The first time I played it, like when you guys were done. Well, even when you guys were in production, I was like, man, that's a cool thing. And then once you guys got it done, then we all. Was it Super Bowl? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so we're all sitting around watching the game, drinking.
Yeah.
And was it me, Jimmy, and Chris?
Yep.
For half, for like a whole quarter of the game, we were just dinking around on these things, and that was it. Like I was convinced.
These guitars, there's something about them, and I don't know. It's not what I intended to have happen. When I set out to do these, I'm like, well, I'm going to make a neat guitar. But what happened was something that I didn't imagine, because what this is I've been calling it musical anesthetic. It it blocks out all the noise and chaos of regular life, and you can just focus on just playing this guitar. It's loud enough, it doesn't have to be plugged in. It's got a pickup so you can plug it in, and you said it sounds awesome. It's fuzz.
Awesome. We plugged it in to Dylan's board at the shop.
Yeah.
And so we all like fuzz.
Yeah.
And this thing sounded great.
Yeah.
With fuzz. Like it was thick and woolly and like, holy crap. Like, think like Gary Clark Jr. or some of like the Black Keys type stuff. It really had this really cool tone to it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's super light.
Yeah, this is like nothing.
Yeah.
But what I like about it is I like the neck is a little bit wider. I have really big hands. So for me, it's very comfortable to be able to play triads and stuff, where on other guitars, it could be a little tighter.
Yep.
But it's very comfortable that way. The binding is great with the notched bit.
Now, not all of them have that.
Okay, so I don't know if that was something special.
Yeah,
they don't maybe that was special for me. But this is great. The binding looks great. The top is amazing. It's hard for you guys to probably see that.
Yeah,
but there's a little bit of shimmer in here. It's super comfortable to play. It, like I said, it's loud, but or it's light, but feels very like strong. Obviously, you got the neck, the volute in there, and everything. It's very comfortable. The body's light in there, but there's no neck dive.
You gotta
super comfortable.
It's one thing to see these and to see see them on the video, see the awesome pictures that Joy takes. And by the way, we got to get you over to the studio so that you can do a photo shoot with Joy. She'll make you look really good.
Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it because I can't.
But like the whole you got to play one, because people are like, what does it sound like? Well, okay, it sounds like an electric guitar that is hollow, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like So so some people are asking what pickup is that and what pickups come standard and what do we got going?
So this pickup is a Seymour Duncan SH4 neck pickup. The reason why I went with this was I do like the clarity that you get out of those pickups.
I think the one that's behind you right there, that's Dawgs, that has the same
pickup.
Yeah.
So
we bought it from you.
Yes. So there's nice clarity to it. I didn't want to have, seeing that that's the only pickup in it, wanted to make sure that it was something that did have clarity and it wasn't going to be muddy, because sometimes neck pickups can be muddy. This isn't. There's some really good clarity to it, and that's why I kind of went with that one.
So some people are asking, let's see. I'm only going to take the questions that are specific to this guitar, but Vital Nomads has a really good question. If you wouldn't mind tuning into our Thursday and asking that, or maybe I'll just write it down and remember it's about spraying paint. But let's kind of focus on some of the questions about the guitar specifically. Jake wants to know, do you have bracing inside? Yes, we do have bracing inside. Now, this is a maple top with a mahogany back inside. So the soundboard is maple. It's not spruce. So the bracing is very different from what you would find on an acoustic guitar. And I'm going to have some videos about some of the genesis of this. I've been working on this design for probably 7 or 8 years. I don't know if you remember, there was that original one that I think we were calling it Matt's Big Fat One.
Yeah, I've seen some different iterations over the years of kind of like similar things. Yeah. So kind of seen the development of it.
The original one was supposed to be fretless and nylon string. And that kind of morphed that, because who wants a fretless nylon string?
That's that customer base.
It's very small. Yeah.
So the cool thing though too on this is that, so I recently got a Challenger level 1.
Yeah.
And this is basically the same neck. The reason why I fell in love with that guitar was because of the neck, the way it feels. So for me, very much the neck feel is great.
Someone was asking, I'm going to look up who that someone was. Oh crap, I can't see somebody asked about what I do for neck profiles and how I decide that. I'm sorry, I apologize, I can't find your comment, but I kind of make the same neck over and over and over. Like I only know how to make this one neck. So and it's kind of in between. It's a little fatter than a C, a little slimmer than a D. It's 860 thousandths at the first fret, 900 thousandths at the 12th fret. So it's a little narrower than a Gibson, but it's a little fatter than a Fender. And so unless somebody says I want a V-neck or I want a something else, but if it's just me making necks, I just make the same neck over and over and over again. And I think that's just I do them so much that's what I make.
And see, for me, I like fatter necks personally. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
you guys have built me a guitar with a really fat neck.
Like Gibsons start out at like 8.2, 8.4, and go to like 9.7. I'm at 8.6 and I go to 9.0. Fenders are like 800 to 8.6, and so I'm a little bigger, a little wider. So yeah, it's not quite a D, it's not quite a C. It's just the neck that I keep making.
Well, I think what happens with like if you, I think because it's a little wider, you can get away with it being a little thinner.
Yeah,
it's not a thin neck. Don't get me wrong. This is not like
it's not like an Ibanez Wizard. Yeah.
But the thing is, with it being a little thicker, a little wider, there's a lot of comfort there. At least for me.
One of the things I discovered was bigger necks. As a young person, I thought, I need to have the smallest neck possible so I can go beedly, beedly, beedly. As I got older, I'm like, well, I never go beedly, beedly, beedly.
Right.
And so thin necks fatigue my hand playing chords and stuff. So I wrestle and I put my thumb in the back of the neck and I just beat it. The bigger the neck is, the better it feels to me. So, and I can't explain why that is, but
and I think that the width on these is great and it's comfortable for that.
Yep. Jake says, is the bracing more for sound or support? In this instance, Jake, because the soundboard is maple, it's absolutely more for support. It has nothing to do with sound. I got to keep the guitar has to be. This is an electric guitar, and an electric guitar has to be sturdy and rugged. And oh crap! That's the first time that's ever happened here.
Playing speed metal.
Yeah. An acoustic guitar sounds best when it's about to fall apart. Okay, so this is a little bit of in between because it's rugged, but it's fragile, if that makes any sense at all. I mean, the wood is very, very thin, but it had to be braced so that it would be rugged enough to where like the neck doesn't rise up out of the neck joint is different than an acoustic. Everything on it is what happens when an electric guitar builder builds an acoustic guitar.
Well, I think in general, though, even just regular straight up acoustic guitars are way more like strong, are way stronger than most people think. So what we've learned over the years, because we've gotten hundreds, if not thousands, of acoustic guitars shipped to the shop, there's sometimes where the box is effing destroyed.
Yeah.
But the guitar is like, hey, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And it's amazing because you think they're these fragile things.
Yeah.
When it's just purely acoustic. But they're not. It's all that construction. It works all together. Everything is kind of securing each other. I mean, in a something like this, you're building it with strength, but you're still getting great sound out of it.
One of the first ones that we did with an ash sides, I dropped it and it like exploded. It was terrible. So anyway, it was before the neck was on it, and yeah.
But these don't have like kerfing around the bottoms and all that stuff, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it does.
I can't see quite in there.
Yep. Is the neck joint like in between electric and an acoustic? It is still a 10-on joint or a ducted. It's still Jake, it's still a regular it's basically the same neck joint that we use on everything. One of the reasons that we don't offer this in a cutaway is because I want the neck to be as sturdy as possible. And yeah. So I've got the neck is actually fit and supported all the way around here. If we added a cutaway, we could do it, but there'd be an extra piece of material here, which would be fine. But what sorts of problems do you have not being able to Oh, look at all the access you lose.
But I don't know that this is necessarily a wheedly guitar, but your 12th fret is right here.
Yeah, it joins the body at the 16th fret, unlike on an acoustic.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're playing and still need to get your blues E.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of room there.
Yeah.
And you can even get, if you needed to get down a little further, you have access. So
the notes are still there.
The notes are there. Like I said, there's your 12.
Well, should we just stop putting frets like this? We don't need 17 through 22.
I think there's guys that are going to want them.
Yeah,
there's going to be a dude that's got to have that. There's a guy that has to have that right there. But there's plenty of.
Yeah. The thing about this guitar, I think that really appeals to me is it looks old already. Now it doesn't look beat up.
No.
But it looks like an old guitar, and and it should feel does it feel familiar?
It does. And it has a bit of that vintagey vibe to it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, part of that I think is the paint, the top,
the hardware is
it gives it a bit of that feel. It kind of feels, it feels old friendish.
So you picked this guitar up at like noon or 1 on Friday, as I recall. Mm-hmm. How many hours of playtime did this guitar get in the last 3 days, do you think?
At least about probably 10.
Because you've been noodling with the guys at the shop and
the guys at the shop been noodling with it. Well, because I went right from here to the shop, so everybody at the shop played it.
What the guys say?
The guys liked it. Yeah, they liked the neck was very comfortable. The fact that the bridge or the neck pickup has clarity. Mm-hmm. The fact that we could throw it through a bunch of different effects and it still sounded like really good.
I think some people are afraid that a neck pickup only. Oh, especially
even with some slide. So it was like you could do a little bit of everything with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of like the Americana.
Hence the name.
Right.
Yeah.
Americana. Yeah. It's a very Americana
That's
guitar.
Right.
So, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I got to figure out what.
So Jake says he really likes the size of this guitar. And I do too. It's a little bigger than a Les Paul. It's a little longer than a Les Paul, a little wider than a Les Paul, but it's still not a. And it's got that
big and bulky. I'm not a small dude either. So if you guys have never met me, I'm like 6'1", 230. So,
but it feels acoustic, but it's not 4 inches deep. Right. Or more, and it's got a jumbo kind of contour to it, but it's not a Gibson jumbo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a very comfortable. Mm-hmm. It's a very comfortable guitar.
So a lot of people are maybe afraid that the single neck only pickup is something that is going to be limiting, but I don't think so at all.
I haven't ran into that problem yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
now I haven't made one yet. And I hesitate to do it, but I have all the stuff to make a bridge pickup one of these. And I know for a fact, as soon as I make one for one guy, everyone's going to want that.
That's entirely possible.
But I don't know why. We are going to do some experimenting with, you're going to get us a Fishman.
Yeah, we're going to do the Fishman Piezo, Piezo. Piezo, whatever you want to call it.
What do you imagine that will actually do besides give guys more knobs to fiddle with?
I mean, I think it's going to expand some of the tonal capabilities when it's plugged in. If there's a blend knob, that could add to some. It depends on what you're going to be using it for.
One of the things that we all often talk about is, what do you do with it, and that you can't do with a. I'm sure like Boss makes an acoustic simulator pedal that how close do you have to get really? Because if you want an acoustic guitar, you should probably buy an acoustic guitar. Right. But I can't say as a guitar maker, oh, buy this thing and that'll get you close. But what I can do and what I will no doubt have to do is put a piezo pickup, whether or not it's any good or whether or not people use it or whether they like it. I think people expect that. And to me, it's the least offensive thing that I could do to this guitar because you won't see it.
I like the aesthetic just the way it
sits. Do too. I love it the way
I don't think if you did put a Fishman piezo pickup in there. It keeps the aesthetic.
Yeah.
It adds a bit of tonal options.
Yeah.
If somebody wants it, that hey, I'd really like to use this more as an acoustic thing because it's going to have a bit more of that vibe.
Just out of curiosity, have you ever farted around with those acoustic simulator thingies?
You know,
they're
if you're good, like you said, if you're trying to do an acoustic thing, just play an acoustic. If you're in a band and there's an acoustic break in a song, and you don't, you're not gonna, you don't.
Do all the drunk chicks that are there are they gonna know? No, yeah.
So the thing is, like, but that would aid in having more of that tone.
Yeah.
But
do you have to have a separate amp to use a piezo pickup?
You could run it through. You could run it through a regular.
But you're probably talking about it's going to be more cost, right? I mean, it'd be preamp, maybe. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what they.
If you want to get fancy, you could do a line out and have this one go to an electric guitar amp, and this one go to an acoustic amp, and then have a stereo thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So
that's crazy talk.
This is a flat top, Jake. Who also says less is more. Yeah, I think that this guitar is good to go as is, and someone's going to say, well, can I get another pickup? Can I get a cutaway? Can I get this, that, or the other? And yeah, you can, but you're not going to. It's not going to be the same. Yeah.
When it gets cluttery, there's all the extra stuff. Because you got to remember, if you do this, then there's going to be a volume tone, maybe a blend knob. So you got to add 3 more knobs to this guy.
So as Americans, we take something that's really cool and sublime and make it ridiculous, like almost immediate. And you get so far away from some of that stuff. So like I say, a Fishman pickup with maybe like a push pull on off thing that it didn't change anything. I'm okay with that. But yeah. Gary Wood says, when will this be available? Gary, as it turns out, we've got 3 or 4 that are going to be available as early as Friday. But if you they're kind of all over the place. I can't reach any of them right now, but make sure to tune in on Friday for our reveal. But if you want, you can go to the website right now and you can order one. So like Ike's is the flame maple. Here is one that is going to be assembled this week. That is all mahogany. We've got another flame maple one right over there, and we also have another flame maple one right there that has ash back and sides. So this is like solid it's not solid mahogany, but it's mahogany back, mahogany top, mahogany sides, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard. This thing's super cool.
That thing's pretty cool.
I hesitated because what this guitar was supposed to be was no binding on anything, all like like a very kind of cop that flavor of like a more affordable instrument. And but then I thought, gosh, it looks really neat, just plain. So we bound it and we thought, should we put a sunburst on it? No, let's just leave it as, because it's really neat.
Yeah, I think it looks cool.
So
as well, like it's got a really good aesthetic as well.
Yeah. Here's one. Here's one that's basically the same as yours, Ike. It's a flame maple top, mahogany sides, mahogany back, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard. For all intents and purposes, this is pretty close to the one that you have in your hand. And when we get it done, it's going to have all the same stuff. I think you dropped off a pickup or 2 for us, so we're gonna go with that. So, in answer to your question, Gary, this one will be available on Friday. That ash back and side one over there will be available Friday too. Jake says, "What would you think of doing a walnut top?" Yeah, man, I think a walnut top would be cool. We could do. There's a bunch coming. There's a couple all maple ones coming. Like I said, there's some ash ones. There's a bunch floating around here that are in various stages of production. There's a black limba top one that looks really sharp.
Really.
So yeah, it's so they're going to be cool. Anyway, I love the design, but can I get one with a cutaway? Yeah, you can. But we would need to talk with you about what that cutaway would look like. I've drawn up some. I like the idea of doing this with a Florentine cutaway. That would be like a Gibson 175, kind of pointy here. I think that would be neat because this has a Gibson jumbo shape. I've also done one with a Challenger cutaway that also looks cool. So if if what you're holding out for is, gosh, I really want one, but it's got to have a cutaway. Okay, well, we could do that. But here's what I fear, though, is I got to have one with a cutaway. Cool. I got to have one with a Fishman pickup. Cool. While you're doing that, I got to have one with a bridge pickup. Okay. We're doing one for Dylan. It's got a Bigsby. Okay, so I know what's going to happen. One day there's going to be all this stuff, and it's going to be a neat guitar, but it's going to be a far cry from this, which I think is ultimately very neat. So will I do it? Yes, but I probably won't make it just to see if people like it. I'll have to do it.
It'll be something specific.
It'll be something specific that somebody that someone pays me to do. So yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. But yeah, it's gonna. So if you really want one, Chad, you need to send me an email, and I am happy to do it for you. But I'm not. I know Chad's not like this, but the line of people that say that would be cool is a lot longer than the line of people who say, "Here's my credit.
Here's my cash."
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
So I love these guitars the way they are. And I understand they're not for everybody. You know, if you play an Ibanez Jamm, this is probably not the guitar you want. Yeah.
Right. It depends on what you do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a super shredder and like deviant guitars or Solar or 7 strings and multi-scale and all that stuff, it's probably not going to be your bag. Your everyday.
I lean towards traditional. Yeah. Man, there's something about now. Did you put this by your couch or your chair or wherever and just kind of fart around with it all weekend?
Yeah. Well, I've been working on these tunes for this thing that's coming up, and this was kind of perfect because my nephew lives with me, so he went to sleep, and I could just kind of play this, and I still got everything going.
Plenty of volume for
plenty of volume for just practicing and doing what I needed to do to get the.
Again, I'm not sure this is picking up by the microphone. I think this kind of disappears. But anyway. Ike, what are you planning on doing? When's your next blues thing at Jake's Roadhouse right down the street from my house?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I got
shit.
Well, here's the thing: is
because can we assume that this will make an appearance?
I would bring this. Yes.
Okay.
The thing is that the other project is Tuesday nights is the rehearsal, so I don't know how all that's going to fall into place. There's a lot of moving parts going on right now, and I'm like, I need to squeeze in like 2 more days between Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or Monday and Tuesday, I should say. So
will you let me know so I can come down and with my order book, because I know people when they place they're gonna I gotta get me one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to Dan and find out when he's going, and I'll sit in with him and take this.
We're doing one for Jam Jimmy too. He'll probably want to maybe he'll want to sit in with some of those guys.
Or we just figure something out and we all just get in there.
Not me, but yeah. All right. Well, Gary says it looks exactly what I imagined and never found until now. Well, Gary, that's such a cool thing to say, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, if you want something that's a little different, we are still a custom guitar shop. So let me know. But if you have an occasion to come down and play one, I think that people see something and go, "Oh, it's going to be limiting," but it might not be.
Right.
So
the thing is we get that a lot with pedals and stuff too. But like, creative people are always going to be creative. Everybody else is just going to complain.
Okay.
It's the truth. Like, oh, those pedals suck. But anybody that's creative or an artist will make art out of
what they have. Okay.
And everybody else that may not be so good is just going to complain that the tools aren't good or the stuff's not great.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, people that are going to make art will make art with whatever they have. And everybody else is going to complain about everything else.
Now I realize that I'm complaining by saying, no, you can't get that. So I'm definitely not saying that.
No, but that's not what I'm. That's you know where I'm going.
I do. So, but as you were saying that, I'm like, gosh, that's me. I'm the one complaining about. So yeah, if you want one with a cutaway, let me know. We'll be happy to talk you through that. But it's going to take some Yeah, it's going to take some planning, but we'd be happy to do that with you, Gary. Gary wants to know, what is the timeline to get one like that? Gary, like I said, I'll have one ready on Friday. I mean, if you want one right away, this one right here will be ready on Friday. Actually, can you hand me that one there, Ike? Here's one that will be ready on Friday. So this is like it's almost dead exactly the same as
damn near exact.
Except it's even lighter because it has an ash back and sides.
Yeah, so if you want a nice ash,
yeah,
you could just come here.
So this guitar will be ready, I think, Friday at the latest. There's 3 of them that are going to be ready to go. So if you really want one, Gary, let me know. You can go to the website and yep. Eric says, Ike, will we see the icon on the Thursday show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll bring it. We'll do it I'll bring it for the Thursday show.
Okay.
And we'll showcase this and
some cool fuzz stuff.
Some other, we'll figure out the pedal side, but I'll bring this and we'll showcase this on our live stream. So those of you that are here, here's my shameless.
Yeah, plug away.
Feel free to go over to Flipside Music's YouTube channel and subscribe. We do a live show right before these guys on Thursday, and we usually demo some pedals and different guitars and stuff like that. And come over and hang out.
Cool.
Subscribe to the newsletter and all that.
Yeah, you should,
because I'm sure you guys have other guitars.
I've been putting a bunch of Flipside case candy in the cases this morning too.
Sweet.
So
I'll get you more. We got some new stickers coming out, and
cool.
We got some really cool new shirts. So
okay. All right, gang. Well, so let's go ahead and let Ike get down the road because he's got a bunch of stuff to do, and I look forward to seeing you guys throughout the week. We're going to go on live right after Ike and the guys at Flipside Music, the great American guitar store.
That's right.
Where they play the American icon. Hey, let me take a few more moments. Ike, what do you think when companies outsource production overseas? This is a loaded question because Joy and I were talking about this morning.
Well, it's a tough one because thinking from some of this stuff on a business level, I get it. Like if your main thing is, hey, we make American-made guitars, but the thing is that it hits a price point that some folks, it's not attainable for some folks.
Get that, yeah.
And some people want to have that feeling or part of that. They want to be part of that tribe or club or whatever you want to call it, but they just can't hit the price point. And sometimes they're like, well, I can get that, but I can get it for $700 or $500 because I like it. And it has a very similar feel. It's not exactly the top.
Yeah.
So they can get close.
Now, let me ask you this. What about when their customer service department is outsourced to somewhere where they may or may not speak English, and there's a latency issue between when you stop talking and when they hear the thing that you just said, there's some. I think what that means to me is I'm talking about customer service calls and things. They don't care. They do not care.
So I'll address this.
Okay,
because I got to deal with a lot of customer service stuff with companies that I deal with. My opinion is, if you're going to be like, let's say you're a guitar company, you have your American line, and then you have your import line, wherever that comes from. You should have the same service, same customer service for both.
Yep.
And you should be able to get a hold of somebody in real time within the within the parameters of whatever the business is.
Yeah.
I don't like always a lot of outsourced stuff because a lot of times they don't even know what the products are or how to speak to it.
They may just be customer service people,
right? And then it's another layer of going through. And a lot of people just want to can I just talk to a person? I got 5 minutes. We can clear this up and be done.
Yeah.
And it's like my biggest issue now, because I've had to deal with this last week, is like the AI stuff. And I'm talking to a computer that doesn't understand.
Yeah.
And I go, can you just let me speak to an effing person? Because I can't. I'm going round and round.
Yeah, with artificial intelligence.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm talking to fucking Simon. And I'm like, I just want somebody to go, we can't do that, or we can do that, or here's the answer. Because I get it. There's a lot of advances in this stuff. But man, just sometimes it's easier to talk to a person.
Yeah.
Let's just get it done. So I don't know. Customer service is important to us as well.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
So Gary or Jake or Chad or whoever, if you guys want something, rest assured, you won't have to talk to a computer. You can send me an email. That is the best way to get in touch with me. But you won't have to talk to a bot.
Right.
To figure out what custom stuff you want. Yeah.
But now they can take your voice, you could speak into the thing, and then AI will generate Matt's customer service
just
voice.
See me yelling in computer
shit ass.
yelling at you. All right, gang. Well, Ike, thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you guys for taking time off of your busy schedule when you're supposed to be working. And this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you, if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel, and life is too short. You might as well have a cool guitar. What do you got, Ike? Take us home.
Okay.
No, what with your
my shtick?
Yeah. You can do that too. Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah.
So all right, well, if you're so smart thing, if you need to buy a guitar, go to Flipside Music.
You should, yeah. Hey, and you can buy Texas Toast guitars at Flipside Music too.
You can. Yeah, we got one left.
You only have the one? Okay.
We only got the one left.
Well, we should get you some more
of these in.
We should get you a couple of those. Yeah.
So if people can come down to the shop, try it out.
That would be excellent. All right, you heard it here first. American Icons at Flipside Music, the great American guitar store.
Yeah.
Okay, gang. Thanks for watching. Okay, now take us home.
Now we're gonna.
I don't know if anyone can hear it, but yeah, let's try.
We're doing a little Americana. Right?
Okay, yeah, why not? That thing is so cool.
It is.